from independent candidate Jeff Clark. Jeff, you have 15 minutes. Go right ahead.
Thank you, Corey. I think last time I saw you, you were a bit more casually dressed, but it was great to have an opportunity, and it's always great to have an opportunity to be in Charlottesville and speak to the people of the 5th District. I do want to say that it's an honor to be here today at the Senior Statesman Forum. It's particularly important to my wife and I. We have, as part of our family household, my grandmother, who is 93, and my great aunt, who is 91, that live with us. So on a daily basis, we deal with senior issues, what their concerns are, how they've seen the country change from when they were young to now. They're a vast source of wisdom for us. It's an honor here today to have my parents. I think they're new seniors, kind of, not too far across the senior threshold. And today just happens to be my birthday, So just about, or exactly 20 years from today, I guess I will cross that threshold into being officially considered a senior. I do want to apologize that because of my participation, that one of the other candidates couldn't be here today. I think it's important that everyone be able to hear from all the candidates. So everyone knows that it was not my intention to throw a wrench into the works or to somehow limit your ability to hear from everyone. My intention and my purpose in getting involved in the race was because I felt seriously there were things wrong and things happening in our country that were taking us down the wrong path. And I'm just a normal guy, a businessman, a father, a grandfather, who looks out and sees and the country heading in a direction that I'm not sure that we can sustain for a very long period of time. I'm not even sure we can sustain it for a short period of time. After this last election, I sat back and I started to think about, well, what's happening in this country? Why do we continue down this path? We had everyone come out and vote for hope and change. And let me take a minute to stop on that. I hear a lot of people try to ridicule folks for voting for hope and change. They say, well, how's that hope and change working out for you now? Ladies and gentlemen, as Americans, we should always hope that there's a better America. And we should always, on a daily basis, work for change. That is the system of government that our founders gave us. They gave us an opportunity to participate in forums just like this, so we can exchange, we can disagree, and we can do so respectfully, and we can do it in a manner that communicates directly to the people. In a manner our founders set in place the ability for us to have a non-violent revolution every 2 years. We do it probably better than anyone else in the world. And I think that having Congressman Perriello here today, who has been willing to engage in this debate, I think it would be very easy for him as a sitting congressman, maybe to not participate if the Republican candidate wasn't here. So I want to thank you, Congressman Perriello. I think that shows that he has a conviction that even the independent voices in the district should be heard. I will say it is a little intimidating sitting here with so many Perriello stickers standing back in the face. But it's good to see conservatives in the room as well. It's good to see those people here today that have Robert Hurt stickers on. Folks, change in our country and a new direction for our government, it's essential that everyone participate, that everyone has a say. We have too many people that have become far too complacent in how our government runs. We have allowed things to happen and to occur in our name that we would now never allow for ourselves. We would now never allow to be done from business associates of ours or from our children. But yet we allow our politicians to constantly head down this road. I think anyone in Washington, even those that are currently sitting in Washington, believe that one of the largest problems we face is corruption. Corruption is at the very heart of what's happening. Congressman Perriello, he's right. He says a lot of people criticize him for saying if you don't tie our hands, the representatives will continue to steal from us. Actually, he's in pretty good company. It was Francis Bacon who said, speaking of the responsibility of a legislator, he should bind his own hands. And not only bind his own hands, but bind the hands of those people he surrounds himself with. Oftentimes, these special interest groups, these special programs, these padding the pockets of the people that support these political parties necessarily aren't happening at the legislative process, but behind the scenes. And that's where congressmen and senators have to take the lead. They have to step forward. They have to control their staff. They have to say the buck stops here, and all too often right now in our country, that's not happening. I think one of the most powerful political platforms that any candidate can use is a platform of change. We almost hear that platform bandied about every 2 years. Change is a very powerful word in our society. It means a lot. But all too often what happens is we elect a new set of representatives and we see no substantive change. We see changes in policies and positioning and maybe a way to fund a particular program or maybe a way not to fund another program. But what we don't see is a fundamental commitment to trying to reduce the size of the federal government. Even no matter who it is, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, we constantly see a march towards a larger and more intrusive federal government that keep dipping into our daily lives, and it's becoming pervasive. We can't get away from it. The people of our country are intelligent, they are resourceful, and they need to understand that we are in a battle for the philosophical identity of our country. What type of people are we going to be? Are we going to be the type of people that pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, that get back to work, that look for ways to solve our own problems? I sit here at this table as part of the middle class. I sit here as a business owner who has a business that is teetering on survival because we have faced serious economic problems over these last 2 years. I know many businesses who are also teetering on survival. One push in either direction, whether it be taking more money out of their pocket or somehow suppressing the economic viability of the rest of the populace, is going to cause those businesses to enter into bankruptcy. We are at a critical point, and we have to decide for ourselves now, what type of people are we going to be? Most Americans that I know believe in a sense of self-reliance. And we have to ask ourselves, are we going to continue to just stick our hand out to the federal government looking for answers? Now, I think that both political parties have good intentions. No one really goes into office saying, I want to find a way to take advantage of the American people. It simply becomes part of the system. It becomes what happens. It's kind of almost a side effect. But what it is, it's a loyalty and a commitment to the parties first and not to the people. Every politician says, I am going to side with the people first and my party second. But unfortunately, in most cases, that doesn't happen. So maybe it's time that we move in a new direction. Albert Einstein said the definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Ladies and gentlemen, the entire time that I've been politically aware, we have been turning power over from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party, to the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. Really, have we seen our country truly change for the better? Or do we see ourselves continually moving down that direction, that path that maybe could lead to destruction? We are becoming more dependent on foreign countries than we are being able to take care of ourselves. And I think maybe it's time for change. Just 1 or 2 independents in Congress, maybe that's all it takes to help break that gridlock and maybe do something good for our country. And folks, that's really why I've decided to run. And I welcome the opportunity to be here today, and I hope that we'll be able to answer your questions, give you guys a good contrasting debate between conservative principles and more progressive principles, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.